I hope everyone is going on the internet right now to bbb.com to get your Lonzo Ball shoes, and on NBA.com to get your Lonzo Ball jersey, because he is the Lakers' second coming.
Second coming of who? Because they've had Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal.
Well, I'm speaking in terms of LeVar Ball. He's their second coming. No, wait, that would be first coming to LeVar Ball, right? Because he's gonna second because he's the next Magic Johnson. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Horrible way to start the show. Having to talk about that.
It's a big shout out. The BBB.
Well, I mean, according to his dad, they are going to make the playoffs this year. He said that the night of the draft.
Stop it.
He
Stop.
did. Said the night of the draft.
Stop.
And he said anyone doesn't believe him, when they make the playoffs, he will wear his I told you so hat.
Stop. He has an I told you so hat?
I don't know if he has one now, but I'm sure his big baller brand will make one.
The BBBs?
Yes.
Yeah.
The triple Bs.
Yeah. Like BBBs. Yeah, buddy. Yeah.
We can't discuss that on the...
Yeah, that's off the
Yeah.
record. Sorry. You guys will never know.
No.
Not even if you ask us on our Facebook page, we still won't tell you.
No. If you meet us in person, maybe.
Good. Yeah. Yes, maybe. Okay, so... Are we going NBA or are we going NFL?
Sorry, NBA. Might as well stick with the NBA.
Okay. What do you got? What are we doing?
Well, just had the draft where, Lonzo Ball was taking number 2.
Great pick.
We'll see. But then, I guess one of the more surprising moves that night was...
Butler?
Yeah, the Bulls trading away Jimmy Butler to the Timberwolves for Levine, and got swapped some picks, which you thought that their NFL, the Chicago NFL draft would have been
solid. Jesse was great.
You thought that one was bad, and then they just Chicago, other Chicago teams like no, we got this. We're gonna take this up a level, and then they trade away one of their best players. Who, this is after Dwayne Wade said he was going to re-sign. Him and Jimmy Butler were really close.
Yeah, that's why I don't get it.
Dwayne Wade and Jimmy Butler were actually out on vacation together.
Yeah, in Paris.
Yeah, when they came down that he was being traded. So, now you're trading away your best player.
It's literally Dwayne Wade's Bulls now.
Yeah, and you just upset the other player, that your second best player, because you traded away his buddy. And now granted, they weren't going to do much this year.
Yeah, right.
And they were a very underachieving team last year. It looked like they were starting to turn things around in the first round of the playoffs, where they took that lead against the Celtics, and then Rondo got hurt, and then that was it. But it's a surprising move, and for me it's a surprising move in both aspects, because obviously the Bulls trading away their best player, but then the Timberwolves are trading away Zach LaVine for Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler only has 2 years left on his deal. He's not re-signing with Minnesota. It's not going to happen.
So you don't think he'll re-sign, even if not this year but next year they start to build, maybe get some more players there?
No, because he's already made, he's already said that he has other aspirations outside the NBA. He wants. That's why one thing he liked about Chicago is he had more opportunities, and as far as acting, things like that, and going to Minnesota, you're not going to have those opportunities. So he's going to be there for those 2 years, and he's going somewhere else. He's not going to stay there, which once again is one of the many problems we've talked about with the NBA, is nobody stays on these smaller market teams, such as Timberwolves, Bucks, outside the Cavaliers, who once LeBron leaves, that the Cavaliers can go back to a horrible team that no one ever wants to go to. So that's, one of the problems, and he's going to leave. So to me, it's like Timberwolves all right, you better hope that you do something within these 2 years, because those 2 years he's gone, and you're going to be at have to rebuild it once again. So doesn't make a lot of sense to me from either aspect. And the Bulls just need to figure out something to do with Dwayne Wade now. Because do you really want that $24 million person on your roster?
Yeah, so are they going to trade him now?
Trade him, buy him out, something.
Right.
Because, I mean, there's no point of having him on there. You are in full rebuild now. There's no way around it. And you basically have to just, gut
no
everything,
superstar.
start from scratch.
Nothing.
Because, Dwayne Wade is not leading that team anywhere.
No. He doesn't have the bobblehead like he used to have.
No, so, I mean, find something to do with him, and then, just start rebuilding. And, it's gonna be a rough year for Chicago fans when it comes to, NFL and NBA.
All they got is baseball right now.
Yeah. And even, the Cubs are up and down. I mean, they're still trying to figure things out. So, but much better position than the Bulls and the Bears.
Yep, sorry, Jesse. It looks like you're going to be next to the Browns this year. No, probably the Browns will probably be a little bit better than your Bears this year. Probably.
Regardless of what you say, Jesse Trubisky is not the answer.
Yeah, why would you say that? What?
I don't know if he even believes it. He's just trying to convince himself, trying to give himself hope.
Just like when he was a Jags fan and thought Mark Brunell was the best quarterback ever.
Hey, Mark Brunell was decent. It's better comparison, with him being a Bears fan and having this, wild-eye fantasy that Jay Cutler was going to lead him to the promised land.
That's what I was getting to that. Yeah, that's...
So Brunell makes sense. Cutler, Trubisky, no. Doesn't make sense at all.
So I guess what I will say with the Jimmy Butler thing is if, like we said with like the smaller market teams, yes, I'm surprised. I was surprised of the deal when I saw because the Bulls pretty much got nothing, and they had nobody unless they would have gotten Butler for Karl Anthony Towns.
Oh yeah, there was no way that
because he's their face of their franchise in Minnesota.
Wolves weren't going to let him go.
So I mean, really, the Bulls. I don't know what they're thinking. I mean, besides they're in rebuild mode.
But you thought they could have gotten more for Butler than they did.
At least some draft picks or something.
So there were other teams interested. One of them was the Cavaliers that had talked interest in Jimmy Butler. So you think what else could they may have gotten from them? Could they have gotten something better?
Yeah.
So but
they got I don't know. I don't know. Just speechless on that. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. So it doesn't understand from the Bulls, and like I said, the Timberwolves are not going to compete for a championship in the next 2 years.
No, they probably won't, but I mean, we've seen crazier things happen.
And then a couple of other stories that came around, around that time was Dwight Howard got traded again.
To the Charlotte Hornets.
Yeah, so with him, should he just hang it up?
I would think he's turned into a journeyman right now.
And no team wants him.
No.
That's 4 teams in 5 years.
Yeah, pretty solid.
So I mean, everything has been downhill ever since the Orlando Magic that falling out with Van Gundy and just spiraled downhill from there. And it's like, no team wants you. Maybe you should just think about hanging it up. I mean,
in Dwight Howard's defense, he will have a lot of coloring books on his wall downstairs by all the teams he has. See what I did there? Yep. Probably has great wall space. He probably watches HGTV, Fixer Upper.
Yeah, it's just weird to think about when he came in. He
was a stud when he came in.
Doing the Sports Center commercials, him being Superman, and he fell.
He was so good when he came out of high school. Like his first 4 years.
Apparently, his personality got in the way.
Yeah, he was.
Oh yeah, you can have
went to Houston. That didn't work out.
Or Magic to L.A. Him and Kobe
didn't
get along.
mesh.
So then he goes to Houston.
Him and James Harden didn't work out.
Nope. Then he goes to Atlanta, and that was
obviously
a failed
didn't work out.
Yeah,
now he's with
Charlotte.
MJ and the Hornets.
Yeah, so
that probably won't work out either.
Well, probably not, because it's like the Hornets are competing for anything. So
yeah, I don't really know what Michael Jordan was thinking on that.
A lot of people haven't understood what Michael Jordan's been thinking the entire time he's been an owner. I mean, he hasn't made the best decisions.
I honestly thought when he took over that team, I was like, okay, he's going to reshape this team in a few years.
Just because you're a great player doesn't mean you're going to be a great executive.
That's true. That's why I'm interested to see what Magic does with the Lakers.
Yeah. It will be interesting. Said he hope his tenure starts off poorly because nobody's rooting for Lonzo Ball.
I mean that's bad on. No, you hope Magic does well, but then if he does well, that means LeVar Ball does well in a way. It makes him seem like he's like, oh, I told you so.
Yeah.
You like Magic, but you don't like the balls. So it's like a double-edged sword,
Yeah. So that's the only thing. But then also in LA, Blake Griffin, Chris Paul have said that they're opting out. They're going to become free agents. A lot of people are, speculating as far as Chris Paul to the Spurs.
Yep.
Which
makes sense.
Yeah, that would make sense, and that I think would actually give them a chance to make a run at the Warriors.
You'd have
and
Kawhi.
That's the only way any team is going to make a run at the Warriors next year.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if he goes somewhere else, nothing's going to happen. It's going to be the Warriors again. Out
of the West.
Yeah, out of the West easily. So I kind of hope that he does go to the Spurs, just so there's at least someone that's competing with the Warriors next year.
Yep.
So we'll see that, and then Blake Griffin, I haven't heard much about where he may go.
I heard, reading some article last night, that if he went to the Wizards, they'd be competitive in the East.
In the East, maybe just, Blake Griffin just hasn't lived up to expectations lately.
Well, he's gotten injury prone for a lot of the years, and then I just blame it on the Clippers not building enough around him and Chris Paul too. I mean, they had DeAndre Jordan.
They've underachieved. I mean,
right.
There's been a lot of times where they were kind of seeing like they should at least be able to get to the Western Conference Finals, and they are never able to. So I mean, yeah, it's part of him being injured, which he's been injured a lot. Players around him, and then just overall being underachievers. So, I mean, yeah, it looks like the run that the Clippers had being the best team in LA is already coming to an end.
Yeah.
And, yeah, right now, neither team in LA looks to be in great shape.
No.
So, yeah, it's going to be Warriors and Cavs next year, probably.
Yeah.
Don't really seeing that going anywhere different. But then, you still have the speculation as far as maybe one more year with the Cavs and then LeBron bolting out.
I also have heard that what they do in free agency this year, some of them are saying might depend on what, if LeBron stays or if he goes. I've also heard, too, that if LeBron leaves, that wouldn't be shocking if Kyrie Irving wants to get traded somewhere else as well, because there's going to be nothing there then.
Well, exactly. And then the Cavs already upset LeBron because they fired the GM. And LeBron
he was not happy about that. No.
I mean, I don't know what Dan Gilbert is thinking. He's like, all right, how can we make my star player angry? And there's already been rumblings that he wants to. Let's figure out a way where we can just solidify him.
Yeah, just make him want to leave after next year.
Because I mean, once he goes, the Cavs are going to be a lottery pick team again, and they're going to stay that way. Because once again, nobody wants to go to Cleveland. Nobody wants to go to Milwaukee, Minnesota. These are teams that they have to find some miracle in the draft and hope for that brief period of time that they have and that they could do something. Otherwise, they are back to being a lottery pick team every single year. Like I said, the Cavs lucked out that this once-in-a-generation type player just happened to be from that area and wants to play there.
Then they got lucky, too, when they drafted Kyrie Irving, that he was a stud.
So, I mean...
He's an assassin.
Well, they lucked out more lucked out for LeBron, because if LeBron never came back, as good as Kyrie is, he's not leading that team anywhere by himself.
No, they would need two more players at least.
Yeah, because without LeBron, they wouldn't have brought in Kevin Love. So, yeah, I mean, they still wouldn't have, done anything. And once LeBron leaves, they're going to be back to being a nothing team.
Yeah, to win titles nowadays, you have to have at least 3 solid superstars.
Yeah, which, things like, why doesn't the NBA just look at, doing a contraction of teams?
Yeah, just make...
Because there's not enough good players to go around.
No.
So,
and a lot of those good players that are free agency aren't going to want to go to, like we said, the crappy small market teams that they know they know they would literally have no future ever contending until, like, the later part of their contracts.
Yeah. So, But yeah, it's disappointing, and everyone's kind of thinking, oh, is he going to go out to L.A. because LeBron is home in L.A. He has aspirations.
His wife tweeted that she wants to settle in L.A. too.
Yeah, but then again, it's like, okay, so which L.A. team does he go to?
Right.
Does he go to the Lakers
or the Clippers?
I mean, now does Lonzo Ball being there and then LeBron not really liking his dad and what he said affect anything?
Yeah, that's.
If that was the case, if LeBron says, "Hey, I'm going to L.A., pitch me a team," LeVar would say then, like try to get him.
I'm sorry
to
for everything.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Please come and help my son.
Or he'd just be that stubborn and say, "We don't need you. My son's gonna lead our team to the championship."
He could. I got it. It just dawned on me. I don't know why I didn't think about this before. You know how he would get LeBron there? LeVar Ball would. Yes. LeVar Ball would come in the room, and he would say, "We're back," like on Undisputed. Have the shoes, BBB, in LeBron's colors.
Oh yeah, because I'm sure LeBron's going to give up his multi-million-dollar shoe deal
Exactly,
to wear one of those shoes.
Why not?
Yeah, that seems smart.
I'm just going for humor here, I'm just going for humor.
So, but yeah, next year, Warriors and Cavs again.
Ooh, also Paul George said he wasn't coming back to the Pacers.
That is not surprising at all.
But where's he going to go, though, now? Is he going to go to... Because...
He's said a lot, L.A.
Because the Lakers, Magic's goal is to clear up 75 million or so dollars in cap space.
Yeah, because next year there's a lot of free agents coming up.
Yeah.
LeBron, Paul George, Russell Westbrook, to name a few. So there's a big free agent that a lot of people are trying to free up cap space for.
What does Magic have in mind? Is he going to try to get George and LeBron next year?
I don't know. It'd be hard to afford both.
But if they have the cap space, then one of them might be able to take a pay cut if they know the other one's coming.
Possibly.
You know?
It depends on if LeBron wants to play with Paul George. Because really, it comes down to who does LeBron want to play with. It's not the other way around. Everyone wants to play with LeBron.
Everybody.
Who does LeBron want to play with? Who does he
Exactly.
deem worthy enough to play with him? So, yeah, that's going to be an interesting aspect of it. And then kind of switching back things here, since we hadn't talked about the finals yet, since they ended, as we kind of figured the Cavs or the Warriors closed it out, and Kevin Durant got his ring. Once again, proving in the NBA, you can just buy championships. You don't.
Yep, pretty much.
It's all you have to do. And then LeBron lost his 5th finals.
Yep.
So he's been to 8. His record is 3-5.
3-5. Yep.
What kind of blemish does that put on him? It's great you've been to 8 finals, but you are 3-5 in those finals. So you can get there, you just can't really close out. Now, I'll give the first one he was in, give him a pass on that because he was with the Cavaliers team that had no business being there.
Mm-hmm.
And they ran into a buzzsaw in the Spurs.
Mm-hmm.
Next time he was there, he was with the Heat, and they're playing the Mavericks.
Mavericks were lights out that year, though.
No, Heat should have won that series. They got cocky. They started making fun of him, and Dwayne Wade were making fun of Dirk Nowitzki from his press conference, and he was coughing. They were making fun of him. They had the lead in the series. Cavs came back and won. The Cavs didn't have the big three, or the Mavericks didn't have the big three. The LeBron did. This is him coming off of the not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, whatever.
But he was so young back then, and it was their first year.
I'm saying, they got to the finals. They had the big three going against the Mavs. They should have won. They didn't. Next 2 years, they won.
Mm-hmm.
Then they ran into another buzzsaw in the Spurs, which Heat still could have won that series.
No.
They had the talent that they could have won that series.
No.
So you're saying their talent with Wade, Bosh, LeBron, and everything else, their talent did not match up to Spurs, even though they just beat that same Spurs team the year before?
No. Mm-hmm. I was not shocked at all that they lost that series to the Spurs.
Well, I'm not shocked that they lost, but they had the potential of winning it.
Well, they had the potential.
I mean, it's not like, the first time LeBron was in the, finals with the Cavs and facing the Spurs where his team had no business being there, so you give him a pass on that one. I don't give him a pass for that one. I don't give him a pass for losing that one. His team just lost that one. And that was, also the period of time where he was not showing up in the fourth quarter and whatnot. So then, next one is against the once again against the Warriors.
Yeah.
This first one, which
all of his players got hurt. K-Love and Kyrie got hurt.
Yeah, Kyrie and Love got hurt.
They got hurt.
Next one they won, and then this last one it's
So this last one he lost. It boiled down to me, and we said this in early episodes, of him not having enough help.
I don't know if there's been enough help, but their game plan was way off.
Right. Okay, so yeah, their game plan was off, but they only got like 9 points from their bench one game. There were a few games where Kevin Love only had like 9 or 10 points the whole game.
Yeah, I mean, really, that series just as a whole was just a rough series. They didn't get the points from the bench, and like I said, their game plan, like I don't know what coach was thinking.
If they would have just slowed down their tempo and used their size that they had against Golden State, I think they would have at least took them to 7 games.
Yeah, but turns out, they lost 4-1. Yep. So, but yeah, like I said, 3-5, is your finals record. Like, to me, I can't put them up as far as like in the conversation of greatest ever when you have a finals record like that.
We're not just talking about rings, though.
Well, I know we're not just talking about rings, but that is part of it.
Right. That's a tiny part, though. I mean,
in a sport like basketball, it's more because it is a more individual-oriented sport. One player on an NBA team can do way more than one player can in NFL or baseball or hockey.
Okay, I'll give you that, yeah.
So to me, as opposed to the other sports, the championship rings put a little more, or have a little more emphasis put on them in basketball than they do with the other sports when it comes as far as, determining like greatest ever. Because like in football, Dan Marino, some people would argue would be the greatest quarterback, because he had all the statistics to put it there, but he did not have the champions. He only went to one Super Bowl and he lost. And he never went to after that. Now, so Joe Montana, 4 for 4 in championships, he didn't have the statistics as Dan Marino did, but people put him up as, greatest quarterback ever because of what he did in the champions. Because it's what happens when you, in the big stage, do you show up, do you come up big in those big stages? Tom Brady, prior to him winning his 4th and 5th, people were saying, oh, well, he can't be considered the greatest because, yeah, he made it to, at the time 5 Super Bowls, but he lost 2. And so then he won the 4th, and there's like people like, okay, yeah, now we can maybe start the conversation with him with Joe Montana. Then he won a 5th, and it's like, okay, yeah, now he is the greatest, he is the greatest quarterback of all time. Now, statistically, once again, he hasn't matched up statistically to Peyton Manning, but he has come up big where I always said Peyton Manning was the best regular season quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Postseason, Peyton Manning never really shined. He always kind of rough. He relied, the 2 championships he won, relied on defense, mostly.
Yep.
So that's where it kind of gets separated out. And so, like, in basketball, you look at LeBron, it's like, yeah, he's got a lot of statistics. He can get his teams to the finals, which, the past 3 years, these past 3 years have just been a joke when it comes to competition. You've known for past 3 years it's going to be the Cavs and it's going to be the Warriors.
Probably next year, too.
Yeah, that's what it's going to be next year, too. So, yeah, it's getting the teams to the finals, just not... Well, even like in his time in Miami, there really wasn't that much competition in the East for them. So it was always this preconceived notion going into the season, yep, they are in the finals, just, okay, who from the West are they facing? So he's getting his teams to the finals, but not closing the deal. Done it 3 times, lost 5. Like I said, I gave him the pass on the one with the first one with the Cavs because there was no business of them being there. He put that team on his back and did the best he could, and he just did not have the talent around him to compete with that loaded Spurs team. But the other ones, I put more emphasis on just because, like I said, with the Heat, you had that big old thing where the big 3 gather together and they should have beat the Mavs. They won the next 2. Spurs, they could have beat. I mean, I'm not saying that. I'm not gonna give them a pass on that one just because the Spurs were horribly mad because of what happened last year when the Heat beat them. And yeah, they just nope, we're destroying you guys this series, and they did. And then then the next 3 he runs into the Warriors where he's 1-2 against. And they're lucky for that one. Because being down 3-1 to come back, that was kind of a miracle. And like I said, the first one, a lot of injuries.
Mm-hmm.
Kyrie, Kevin Love, a lot of injuries. First one, miracle, came back and won. And this past one, we just talked about him. And, not much help. And then coaching was just bad. So, but 3-5, it's just hard to, put okay, well, Jordan 6-0, Bill Russell 9-0, and then Magic Johnson, he had a good finals record. I mean, really, as far as number of appearances, he's right up there. I mean, obviously he's not up to Bill Russell yet, but I mean,
no.
I mean but then again, Bill Russell his team was loaded. Look at the amount of Hall of Famers on that team. But I mean, like I said, in the NBA, there's just more of an emphasis put on championships because it is a more individual-oriented sport, and especially right now where there's not much competition
Anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, LeBron has been on the best team. You knew every year, okay, this is the team that's going to be out of the East. First, it's the Heat, they're going to win this next 4 years. Then, okay, the Cavs are going to win. And then next year, it's going to be the Cavs are going to win again. It's just all a matter of, okay, who's coming out of the West? And, you had Mavs, you had the Thunder, the Spurs, Warriors. Well, there's been more competition out there prior to these past 3 years. That's just, I don't know. It's just something that's, I don't know if I can get my head around it. Oh, he's the greatest. Oh, no, I can't say that yet.
So, this is just my thinking here. Yes, he's 3-5. Does that put a huge blemish on his legacy? I wouldn't say a huge one to me. He has, yes, we look at his finals, accolades and stats that he has, This year was the first player. He went first player in the finals to average a triple-double. Last year, he was the first player in the finals to lead both teams in all major categories. And plus, this year, you got to think back. You look back, did Michael Jordan play against, or any of those guys, Magic or any of them, did they play against a team that had potentially 3 Hall of Famers? You look at Curry, you look at Draymond, you look at Durant. When did they have to play against?
Durant was only there for the 1 year.
Right, but I'm saying he's probably going to be a Hall of Famer.
And that's only the past 2 years.
Right.
And then again, you have to consider, LeBron, who he has on his team, and who he had on his team is Miami, and who he was facing in Miami too. I mean, the Mavs, they don't have 3 potential Hall of Famers. They have 1.
Oh, but they had a really solid team that year, though.
But hey, Hall of Famers, they have 1. They have 1.
That's but I'm talking about this year, though. This year.
Just this year, yeah.
This year. LeBron had to play Durant, Curry, Draymond, and you had Klay Thompson emerging in the later part of the finals as a legitimate Big 4. He's not a Hall of Famer, no, but legitimately 4 big players. Now, just, it's just a really touchy subject for a lot of people, with LeBron and MJ, because that's the two names that people put head to head, and I mean, yes, to me he's 3-5, yes, but I mean, this year in the finals, I'm just not sure. I mean, you could have had Zeus on the other side playing point guard, and I don't think that he would have won with KD, Durant, KD's the same guy, but KD, Curry, and Draymond. And, you have to factor in, too, unfortunately, LeBron's great. I mean, the guy averaged a friggin' triple-double in the finals. I mean, yes, he's the greatest player on the planet, but it shows he's human because he still needs some help along the way.
Well, everybody needs help.
So, I mean, to me,
they had Scottie Pippen.
He's 3-5. Yeah, but MJ just had that one player, though, LeBron.
Well, no, it's not just one player. Then he had Dennis Rodman for a period. He had Steve Kerr, Luke Longley,
right, but
John Paxson.
I'm talking like legitimate, superstars that could score. Rodman was a great defender. He was probably the greatest rebounder of all time. I think, to me, but with LeBron, he's the greatest player. He had Kyrie that came through. But then Kevin Love had his games where he turned into a Pac-Man ghost, and he was only 9 or 7 points. So, my conclusion, does this blemish his legacy? I guess it depends who you're asking. I guess it blemishes it a tiny bit, but with his bulk of work in the finals and his all-around accolades, no. I don't know. That's just how I feel about it.
And we're never going to agree on that topic. One last thing really quickly here. Speaking of greatest of all times, apparently Derek Carr is shooting right up there because he is now the highest paid quarterback ever. Which, does he deserve it? Quick answer, no.
What are California teams doing right now?
Well, I mean, the Raiders in general. I mean, they've been such kind of in confusion for years, but I mean, yeah, he's good.
He had this one good year.
Past couple years versus Kim his work game, he's been decent. Yeah, this was the first year leading into the playoffs, but then
he didn't even play.
Well, yeah, he got hurt.
Right.
But then is he worthy of the most money ever? No, not at all.
If this was his 5th year, and it was his 5th year putting up big numbers and then got to the playoffs, I'd say yes. Like, if this was Drew Brees or Tom Brady, I'd be like, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, if he had made, if he got into the playoffs a few more times and actually maybe like won a few playoff games, and put, some numbers up, okay, you can understand, but, okay, you've been to the playoffs once, you didn't play in the playoffs because you got hurt, and they're just going to base that and give you the highest salary ever. Oof. No.
Like, what if this injury he has a regression and just has a terrible year? How does that make the Raiders front office look?
Well, I mean, the Raiders front office has been looked at with crooked eye for a long time. I mean, they have not made the best decisions.
Like, if this year he has just an awful year, what does that say? This guy got this big contract and he is an absolute dud this year.
Well, I mean, especially this year, because he has a lot of talent around him. You got Marshawn Lynch as quarterback. You still have Amari Cooper as
Crabtree over there.
Yeah, so he has a talent. So there's no reason why he shouldn't be good. So if he is, that just makes it look even worse. But the Raiders, I think, are actually going to be a good team this year. Super Bowl contenders? No. I don't think they can match up to the Patriots. I think the Patriots are. I still have the Patriots coming out of the AFC as the winners.
The only team in the West or in the AFC that has a legitimate shot if this pans out for them, would probably be the Texans.
Texans, and you can never really count out the Steelers.
That's true. They're either hot or cold in the playoffs.
Yeah, so I mean, they always had that potential. Just a matter of, okay, can Le'Veon Bell not get suspended? And can their defense show any sort of flash of what it used to be? Can Big Ben stay healthy and
Big Ben doesn't have too many years left.
Well, no, I mean he's basically going year to year right now, and he's openly said that, and he wasn't even sure if he was going to play this upcoming year. So, yeah, I mean, the Steelers' window is just about slammed shut. They really have to start thinking about future. I mean, they need to get a quarterback, quick.
And they still don't every draft.
Yeah.
They never get a QB.
So, yeah, they're going to have to find one quick. But, Derek Carr, no. And then, what's weird about that is Aaron Rodgers. He is actually very underpaid when it comes to quarterbacks. I mean, he's actually down on the list quite a ways.
Yeah, so is he going to be wanting a big deal like that?
Oh, he's going to get one.
You know, that's...
And the Packers need to realize, like, you are going to pay him a lot of money.
Yeah.
And he deserves it.
Right.
Unlike Derek Carr, he has won a Super Bowl. He's been MVP a couple of times, and he has the statistics to make him worthy of being, the highest paid quarterback. So
there's a few other quarterbacks on that list that are kind of on the downward list that I was shocked.
Yeah, Tom Brady is actually kind of low, but that's
the Patriot cause.
And he's willing to do that.
Yeah.
He took that in order to be able to get teams or people around him to win. So he's doing actually very he's made a ton of money. He's set for life. He doesn't have to worry about money. So he's smart.
Well, he could retire today. He could have retired years ago, like 2 years ago, because his wife is a ex-Victoria's Secret model, I think.
Well,
she's rolling in the dough.
But then, like I said, even he is. That's a very wealthy family on both sides.
She begged him to retire this year, and he said no.
Yeah, he's going to continue playing, and as long as he plays on a high level, the Patriots are going to continue to pay him to come back.
I'll say it on camera right now, Patriots will win the Super Bowl. Even with Brady on the Madden cover. He's gonna play quarterback in a bubble.
Yeah, that's about where the NFL's going to anyways.
The Madden curse though,
Yeah, but the NFL's getting, for protection of quarterbacks, they might as well put them in a bubble.
In the next 5 years, they're gonna be playing with flags on their hips.
And that will be the death of the NFL.
But make sure you guys go on BBB.com, pick up your LeVar Lonzo Ball shoes. Make sure you go on the NBA website, go to the Lakers website.
And get a Magic Johnson jersey.
And get your
or
Lonzo
Kobe
Ball
jersey. Or Shaquille O'Neal jersey. Or anyone other than Lonzo Ball.
Okay, we're just going to go out. He just killed it. We're just going to go out.
I'm glad I did.
We're done.
No, first, people have to... like us on Facebook and have to subscribe to us on YouTube.
You steal my thunder. You broke my heart.
And on that note, we're done.